It's time for CityBeat, your source for all the latest news on the city of Thompson. Only on 102.9 CHTM, your radio station.
Good morning. I hope everyone is enjoying their Thursday, and welcome to CityBeat. I'm your host, Jaret Schneider, and joining me today is Mayor of Thompson, Tim Johnston. Good morning, Mayor Johnston.
Good morning.
And before we get into the questions, I'll give you the first minute to run things down from the past week.
I'll just highlight some of the things that we've been involved with over the last week. Monday night, we had our regular meeting of council, and we had a number of public hearings as well regarding some development opportunities in the city. So very pleased to see that we're going to see some development in the near future. Beyond that, I was out of the city attending meetings in Winnipeg on Tuesday, Wednesday, and we have had an opportunity to meet with both Manitoba Justice regarding some initiatives, and I anticipate an announcement in the very near future relating to the throne speech. And in addition, I had an opportunity to talk to Minister Ashton earlier in the week, and then I was very pleased this morning to hear that the Premier, along with Minister Ashton, made an announcement on some significant investments in northern highways, specifically Highway number 6, and also Highways 373, 374. So I think that was very good news. In terms of some of the things upcoming, obviously we're getting into December, so a number of community events. Encourage people to get out and take into or attend the Christmas concerts at the various schools, as well as some of the community events. And then just a reminder that tomorrow, December the 6th, is a big day in Thompson. It's National Day of Action on Violence Against Women and Girls, and I was very pleased to proclaim December 6th as such. And also the YWCA will be opening their Women's Center tomorrow, so I encourage people to get out and support those initiatives. So with that, I know it's been a very cold week. We've had our crews out on the streets trying to clear the roads. I can tell you that we have now completed all roads in Thompson twice, which is pretty rare for this early in November, but it is a tremendous amount of snow that has fallen. We're going to concentrate now on clearing some of the boulevards, especially at intersections and at corners. We know that there's concerns. We have to pile snow in order to clear the roads, and then we go in to remove it, and that's what we're going to be doing over the next few days.
204-677-8181. We have Mayor of Thompson, Tim Johnston, joining us today, taking your calls live at 204-677-8181. Now, looking back at the past week, you mentioned City Council on Monday. There was a couple of public hearings. So first, I'll just ask you about the Coop Gaspar one to be built just off of Thompson Drive. So first of all, what's next before this can happen, and what's it going to mean for the city, and what's sort of the next procedure here in that one?
Well, so we held the public hearing as the District Planning Board, and we did not receive any objections. We received presentations in favor. We also had the public hearing as a City Council. And so we now move on to the next step, and there is a tentative agreement between the Co-op and the Advent Lutheran Church in terms of the purchase of that property and the conversion of that property to downtown commercial, in essence, in order to facilitate the construction of a new Co-op Gaspar. Obviously, I'm very pleased that we see that investment in our community. The Co-op has been a wonderful business in our community, and it serves the needs of its members, which is our community. So very pleased to see them looking forward. They've done a lot of work on the numbers to warrant the construction of a new store and gas station. I like the location. I think it works. It grows our downtown a little bit. We certainly understand some of the concerns of the neighborhoods in the area, so as part of the public hearing, there are recommendations that will come forward in terms of the access into the property, the aesthetics of the property in terms of fencing, tree planting, those types of things. So the Co-op has been wonderful to work with, and I think we're going to get a great investment in this community, and so I think it's good news all the way around.
204-677-8181. Also, there was a public hearing on the Yale Newman secondary plan. So how are things kind of sitting with that right now? I know it's been building over the past little while.
So right now we're going through the process that we need to do in order to have that land joined into the city. The next steps really will be to finalize the process, and then the land will be made available to sale. So it takes a while to do this because we're adding land to the boundaries of the city of Thompson. Again, I want to acknowledge and thank Valet for the contribution, and this will enable the city to bring on 88 acres of new commercial, residential, and land, and I think that that's going to be huge in terms of the opportunity to grow this community and provide land where people are looking to invest.
204-677-8181. Now, you mentioned off the top of the show some of the highway improvements that were announced this morning throughout all over northern Manitoba, including Highway 6. So what are these going to mean, and how is this going to benefit not only our community, but the rest of northern Manitoba? Well,
first, I'm very pleased on the announcement on Highway number 6, and as I understand it, in terms of some of the conversations I've had, is that they're going to be designing new passing lanes. This has been an item that has been asked for a long time. I know the Thompson Chamber of Commerce had been advocating very hard for passing lanes, so I'm very pleased to see that. And then they're going to be widening the road, and we've seen a lot of that work ongoing in terms of widening the road and then removing some of the sharper curves. So again, I appreciate the commitment. This is going to certainly improve the safety of the highway, and that's good news. I think it also signifies the fact that road is a vital link economically for northern Manitoba and the south. And so I'm very pleased to see the investment because that translates into some real confidence about the future growth potential of northern Manitoba. There's also been a commitment to highways 373, 374 across Lake Norway House, and I think that's very good because we know that Thompson serves as that regional service center, and certainly to make the road safer and more convenient for people to travel in and out of our community is certainly a huge benefit for Thompson. So very pleased to hear the announcement, and again, I want to thank Minister Ashton, our own MLA, who is the Minister of Infrastructure and Transportation, and certainly has always advocated and has made a real difference in terms of the amount of money that has been invested in roads in northern Manitoba, and so it certainly is welcome news.
204-677-8181. We have Mayor of Thompson, Tim Johnston, joining us today. 204-677-8181. Now, how are things right now with the wastewater treatment plant? If we jump back into the city here, it was announced a little while ago, the project. So where are things at to this point?
So we had the open house, and I appreciate those people that came out a week ago Wednesday. The process now is that we'll go forward with applying to the province for our environmental licensing, and then we'll go in terms of looking at some of the tendering. I anticipate that construction likely will take place 2015, 16 perhaps, and hopefully have it open and ready to go for the start of 2017. This is going to be a major construction project for the city of Thompson, likely in the tune of $30 million. Again, I point out that because we chose to go with the water utility, we're going to be eligible for at least 60% of that funding, which is huge, and it'll likely be the largest capital project the city of Thompson has ever undertaken, certainly since the construction of the community, and we are required to do that in terms of to meet environmental regulations. So we'll continue to make sure the public is aware of what's happening with that process because we're spending a lot of the public's money to get this project done.
204-677-8181. Now, tomorrow is a pretty big day in the city of Thompson. It's the National Day of Action on Violence Against Women and Girls, and there's a couple events taking place. There'll be a candlelight vigil at the YWCA from 3 to 4 p.m., as well as the opening of the Women's Center, and there's an open house there from 4 to 6 p.m., as well as opening ceremonies at 5:15. So I know this day is held every year. What's it mean this year, especially with a couple of little special events, including the opening of the Women's Center?
Well, I think that first I want to congratulate the board and staff of the Thompson YWCA on this initiative. I think that the Y has always historically played a very prominent role in terms of providing services for women and girls in our community, and it has a great history of doing so. Certainly from our perspective as a city, the National Day of Action on Violence Against Women and Girls is extremely important. We've said very clearly one of our key priorities in terms of public safety is domestic violence, and we know that we need to continue to address and to ensure that we recognize the need for action against on violence against women and girls, and so I will be very happy to participate, certainly at the opening of the Women's Center, and again thank the Y for leading, along with so many other agencies in this community, and I think that that's very important, and I encourage residents to get out and attend both those events.
204-677-8181. But before we wrap up the show for this week, I'll give you, of course, as always, the final minute to run things down for the week ahead.
Well, just a couple things. It's going to be, as you indicated, there's a number of events coming on this weekend. I think AAA North Stars are back playing this weekend. Again, a number of Christmas concerts coming up. So encourage people to get out, get active. We are now clearly in the festive season, so encourage people to participate and take advantage of those opportunities to get out and enjoy themselves. The other thing, though, that while they're doing that, I just want to recognize and remind people that we do have a great program in Thompson over the festive season, and that is Operation Red Nose. And I want to acknowledge the volunteers and encourage anyone that might be interested in helping Operation Red Nose as a volunteer. Contact 204-778-8601. But most importantly, I encourage all residents, if they are out during the festive season and partaking in festivities, that they use Operation Red Nose as a means to get themselves and their vehicle home. It's a great program, and we certainly want to ensure that everyone has a safe and festive season, and there are no excuses for drinking and driving, especially when we have such great programs as Operation Red Nose. And I just want to remind people that the RCMP have also kicked off their programs in terms of roadside check stops. So let's all ensure that it's a festive season and for everyone, and remember to keep in mind safety and take advantage of programs such as Operation Red Nose.
All right, and before we go for this week, we do have a caller on the line, so we'll go to the phones quickly. Doug, please ask your question and hang up to hear the answer.
Hi, I'd just like to know if there's a rumor going around about the wet house going by fast gas in that building. I'm just wondering if it's true or not.
I can tell you that the City of Thompson is not at this time involved in any of the discussions. My understanding is that Manitoba Housing may be looking at that property, but I do not believe the City of Thompson has been approached in terms of any changes to bylaws or regulations, but I can check into that. But I do, and I have heard that Manitoba Housing is looking at a property in that area. And I'm not sure specifically what the use would be, but I can certainly look into that and bring back information next week.
And that will do it for CityBeat this week. Make sure to tune in every Thursday at 11:30 for more insight into your city and a chance to ask more questions. We would also like to thank Doug for the call today, and we'd also like to thank Mayor Tim Johnston for joining us. And to everyone else, I hope you enjoy your Thursday.
CityBeat will be back next Thursday morning.